Back in May, we popped over the pond for high-end Munich, and when we weren't listening to the Omega Everest decked-out Niagara room, we were doing other important cultural studies. Historic as the Paulaner beer house may be, it's located right across the street from perhaps a more important location.
Rauch Und Schall, which is a hi-fi store in Munich.
And who is it that we have the pleasure of speaking to?
It's Axel.
So Axel was kind enough to let me spend part of a rainy afternoon with him and the crew at Rauch Und Schall.
I think there's basically good stuff in every genre. I mean, just have to listen for it or search for it.
Axel is a paramedic, or EMT in Munich. What's it called in German?
It's called Notfallsanitäter. Like a typical German lean word, getting more and more complicated over the years.
This provides Axel with a unique perspective on how power delivery interacts with system performance. He's followed Shunyata Research's sister company, Clear Image Scientific, and its impact on medical imaging.
Well, basically, it's just an idea of how to set up a system. And they always think speakers are important. Because that's the problem what the industry did, because they like selling speakers because you usually have the biggest margin on speakers. That doesn't make any sense to us, because it's at the beginning of the food chain where most of the mistakes are made. You need a decent room, and you need decent power, because you're listening to modulated power, nothing else. So, and it's crap in, crap out. So this funny incident, like last year, when there's this British retailer Tesco, and they sold heaps of CDs and Blu-rays and records, and they were like, oh, no, actually we stopped selling physical media, we're not interested anymore, except for records. And everyone was like, gee, if somebody would have told me that 20 years ago, Tesco doesn't sell CDs and Blu-rays anymore, but they still sell records, I wouldn't have believed him or her. But that's the way it goes right now. Oh, my first record, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, and was it's a really weird cover of a kind of strange, skinny looking Bruce Springsteen in front of some really awful wallpaper. That's it. The funny thing is actually with Bruce Springsteen is most of his records really sound awful. And that's because he always thought he knew how records were supposed to sound, and many producers actually kind of gave up on him. But some of his later stuff, the Wayfarer record, for example, sounds really nice because he didn't have any say on how it's supposed to sound. The Shunyata stuff is really well made, which usually, most Germans don't associate with the label made in the USA. So you can be proud of that. And the stuff actually really sounds nice. And there's, like we said before, there's different cables for different tastes. But I think once it's concerning power or digital, especially like USB and Ethernet, there's no way around Shunyata. You can say, I don't like the taste of it, but you're hard pressed to find any better. Different, yes, better, I don't think so.
When you find yourself in Munich, swing by Rauch Und Schall for some kindness, some candor, some high-end audio, and maybe even a Portuguese water dog and cigarette and coffee on the stoop. It's a nice place to be. Thank you for having me. And remember Axel's wise words.
And you need decent power, because you're listening to modulated power, nothing else. So, and it's, crap in, crap out.